Table Talks Education. Let us proceed with mutation now as a fresh subtopic here. So we have all agreed that mutation simply means change in structure or arrangement or amount of DNA in an organism. Change in structure, change in structure, amount, change in structure, amount, or arrangement of DNA in an organism. That is what we call mutation. So now, in this respect, we shall just move on and continue with the types of mutation. Okay? So here, we can talk about types of mutation. The types of mutation. So now here, we have two major types of mutation. One is called gene mutation, and then the other one is called chromosome mutation or chromosome aberration. So we shall be looking at each one of these. So one is called gene or point mutation, gene or point mutation. Gene or point mutation, and then the other one is called chromosome or chromosomal mutation, also called chromosomal aberration. Chromosomal aberration. So those are the two major types of mutation that we have: gene mutation, chromosomal mutation, and chromosomal, also called the chromosomal aberration. It's supposed to be single B. Aberration. Chromosomal aberration. Like that. Now, let us talk about gene mutation. Gene or point mutation. Gene or point mutation. Now, this is a mutation which occurs within DNA molecule or in the genetic matter. Now, because gene mutation involves change in the nucleotide, or it involves change in the sequence of bases on DNA, then for that matter, it is also called point mutation because it occurs specifically within a triplet that codes for a particular amino acid and hence a protein. So now, an example still here is a mutation that occurs in the gene that causes what we call sickle cell anemia. There is replacement of glutamine with valine on the beta chains of hemoglobin molecule, leading to formation of an abnormal hemoglobin pigment called hemoglobin S, and hence sickle cell anemia. So I can write that this is change in structure, change in structure, or arrangement, change in structure or arrangement of DNA, arrangement of DNA of an organism, or in an organism, The change in structure or arrangement of DNA in an organism. Okay. Now we are saying that it causes changes in genotypes, of organisms, and hence alters their characteristics. Now, we have a mutation, or we have a gene mutation, which occurs in germ cells, the cells which eventually become reproductive cells. Now, that kind of mutation is called germ mutation, and it can be inherited by the offspring. And also, we have mutations which occur in somatic cells, body cells. That kind of mutation that occur in body cells is called somatic mutation, and such a mutation is not inherited by the offspring, but rather the changes are transmitted to the daughter cells during mitosis. So now here we shall say that cis gene mutation occurs within a particular sequence of bases or nucleotides on DNA strand. Then it is also called point mutation. So that is where the word point mutation comes from, because that kind of mutation occurs within a particular sequence of bases or nucleotides on DNA strand. Remember that nucleotides contain organic bases or nitrogenous bases. So every nucleotide has a base. So you can say sequence of bases or sequence of nucleotides. Now, here we can say that gene mutation that occurs in germ cells is called germ mutation. So that is what happens. Also, mutation that occurs mutation that occurs in somatic or body cells is called somatic mutation. Somatic mutation. And changes produced by this mutation, changes produced by somatic mutation cannot be inherited by offspring. Cannot be inherited by offspring. Instead they are inherited. They are inherited by somatic. They are inherited by somatic. Inherited by daughter cells. Daughter cells produced by meiosis, by mitosis. So that the changes which occur in body cells or in somatic cells can never be inherited by offspring. Instead, they are inherited by the daughter cells produced by mitosis only. Now, whereas the changes which are produced by germ mutations, those ones can be inherited by daughter cells. So now I can say that changes, or this one here, changes can be, that is now for germ mutation, changes can be inherited, by the offspring, during sexual reproduction. So changes produced by germ mutation can be inherited by the offspring during sexual reproduction, whereas the changes which occur as a result of mutation occurring in somatic cells or body cells can never be inherited by offspring, but rather they can be transmitted or inherited by the daughter cells produced by mitosis or produced by mitosis. So, members, that is what we call gene mutation. Let us meet in the next video where we are going to talk about the various forms of gene mutation, and then thereafter we shall talk about chromosomal mutation. So that is it as highlighted on the board.